Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Fernanda, and I am with the Pink Piano Inc. company. I have been within the company for about 6 months or so, and I have had the opportunity of meeting wonderful people along the journey who are passionate about their work and are about to share with us their insights. Pink Piano Inc. is a company that has dedicated its time and its resources to the industrial marketing sector. We have noticed that a common factor within our clients has been the misalignment between sales and marketing. So, our topic today will be orchestrating success, marketing, and sales in the perfect harmony for B2B growth. Today, we have a guest with us. She has specialized in the marketing area and has had to work alongside marketing and sales. This journey has provided her with insights into how the system works, and she's here to share with us some tips that would help us to tackle those pain points in which we usually struggle when we are trying to talk with a customer. Hi, Ale. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Fer. Thanks for inviting me. Yes, I will share some tips that I have. I have been working in marketing and sales for a long time, and I have been in each side. So, some of my experience I will share with you. I will be more than glad to share with you. And I am making an analogy with music. So, let's get started.
Yeah, thank you. You have the floor.
When you are crafting a marketing plan, you don't do that by yourself when you are in marketing. And when you're in sales, you don't do that by yourself either. So, this is why it's really important that you try to orchestrate this in a perfect harmony. It's like writing music, right? You have a composer, but you have a performer. So, for that, they have to build this this synergy between the two of them,
Yeah.
and they need to understand each other. So this is something that we can talk a little bit about during this presentation.
Yeah, so we work in an industry where there's much information about products, services, and people. So, Ale, can you tell us, with your own words and with your own experience, why is it important to marketing to for them to understand what sales are talking about and even understand the customer and the product?
Yeah, the role of marketing is to connect the product of your organization with the need of the customer. So, in order for you to do that, you will create a unique value proposition. So, in order for you to do that, you have to perfectly understand the product that you are offering, but
Mhm.
also you need to understand the customer. In B2B, the customer is even more complex. They are looking for solutions, but it's very, very complicated, and marketing cannot do that by themselves, right?
Yeah.
They need to have the insight. That they need to have this channel to know the customer, but also the channel to know the product. It's very important that you study and you are capable of articulate what is the benefit that the product brings to the customer. So
Yeah.
it's a deep, deep knowledge, and it's a lot of study that never ends.
Yeah, I can get that. So more than anything is marketing being able to understand the overall picture of the process, to know the aspects of the product in order to craft a message that will resonate with the client. It's not just about offering the product, it's more about explaining the why of it and its benefits. Marketing must understand the customer and the product. It is an intrinsic process.
And in B2B fair, the
Yeah.
process is even more difficult. So marketing needs to understand each step of the process, the pain points of the customer, what is the business objective of the customer, also the business objective of your own company. Sometimes marketing is not that connected with your own business objective. So it's a lot of research, if you will, that
Yeah.
marketing have to do, and they cannot do by themselves. On the other hand, the sales team know everything about the customer. So when you put these two things together, you will make wonders, right?
Yeah.
Um, Sales have all the experience. They communicate with the customer. They know what is that the customer wants, and they will bring all this insight. It's a process that is evolving all the time.
Yeah, of course. So that would be role of marketing more than anything, to understand the customer, to know the product inside out. And as you said, I don't remember if it was on this call or another one, but you definitely, you could recommend for marketing to go out like in field trips with sales, right? For them to have this process where it's an experience together, so they can both broaden their horizons, their perspective, right?
Yeah, in business to business and in the industrial marketing, you cannot imagine the conditions that you are going to find.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have customers that they don't even have internet. So if you're crafting a campaign, if you're crafting a message, you have to know the channels that better adapt to your customers. So this is why you have to go out with sales, shadow them in those meetings, understand their language, understand their timing, buying this, building that buying persona. So you will have a clear understanding on what is this that you have to communicate, how you are going to communicate, when you are going to communicate, and the channels that you are going to be using. It's very important that you have this collaboration with sales because they are the ones that are going to lead this understanding.
Of course. And when you talk about collaboration, it's about how are you going to craft the message, right? How are you going to speak to the customers? How are you going to make it clear? Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes, uh, it has to be very clear, but no one can do it by themselves, right? So it has to be this continuous conversation, I would say, between marketing and sales.
Yeah, of course, because now we are establishing the goals, right? We are understanding that even though it seems that we are doing the same thing and that the teams are they are doing similar things, the approach of each one is different. And marketing, the job is to write the content, be creative in the ways that you can approach the customer. But sales, they are in the first row when it comes to customer contact. They are the ones that are going to speak the language of the customer. So, Ale, how can we unify marketing and sales? How can we align their vision?
Yes, it's very important. The first thing is that you have to have a common goal, right?
Mhm.
You have to understand what is this that sales wants, and sales needs to understand what is this that marketing does. So, and they also have to understand that there are different roles. This is the first thing. Marketing is marketing, and sales is sales. They do not um, they do not mix, the roles, and you have to understand which one does what, but the business goal is the same, right?
Yeah.
And you have to build a unified message, and it has to resonate to the customer. And as you have in the picture, is that everything has to be in perfect harmony. And you have here somebody, like, I can see that somebody is writing music. You have like a classical performer, but then you have these batteries that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't fit in the equation that you have here. And sometimes this happens with sales and marketing. You can have, as you said, rock stars, and they play the battery perfectly, but it doesn't go with this symphony that you are creating for the customer. So it's the same thing. This analogy works perfectly, and everyone has to understand they need to have a unified message and a consistent message.
Mm.
So everything, you can bring many good ideas, but you don't create consistency. You don't create clarity to the customer. At the end, you have to please your audience, the customer. So everything has to be perfectly aligned.
Yes, of course. Because having different voices, and let's say in this other picture that you showed us, it's different rhythms, it will end up confusing the customers. And in the case of this analogy, the audience, right? So together, sales and marketing should be able to answer and don't deviate from the same message. Understanding both perspectives and the value, but know how to answer that it's simple, consistent, it's an unified message. So Ale, how can we align the message, and how are we going to still be able to inform the customer, but without overwhelming them?
Yeah, you have to define, what is the value proposition? Is the first thing. What is this that is different that you are offering to your customer? And sales, marketing, finance, everyone in the organization has to have the same concept. It has to be very simple, and we need to be able to communicate in a simple and consistent way. Everybody has to use the same language in the organization, and you have to avoid, these, buzzwords and jargons and acronyms. It's like we are very used to to say FPA or whatever internally, and when you talk to the customer, you tend to do the same thing. So we have to avoid that, and you have to speak to this persona that you build. Remember who is the customer, where he is, and what is this how long this person has to be in contact with your brand. So everything has to be aligned with sales and marketing, and they have to say the same thing. It's basically what you have to do.
Yes, of course, because we are understanding about that marketing is the one crafting the message, but sales is the one sharing it directly with the customers, right? Being able to have the resources depending on the customer is how you will communicate your knowledge. And that's very, very important to know. So what is it considered consistency?
Everybody has to say the same thing, right? And the customer has to understand the same thing. This is consistency. Is again, has to be very simple. And when you ask whoever you want to, they have to, what is this that I'm selling? What is this that I am solving? Everybody has to say exactly the same thing. This is the unique purpose that you have with your solution or your product. And you have to differentiate from the competitors. This is really important. You have to also take into consideration what is this that your competitors are saying with similar solutions. And you always have to be different. You cannot be a me too in business to business marketing.
Yeah, of course, because now that you are consistent, you are speaking the same language and you are able to have a synergy. So it's keeping it simple, understanding the topic and the context. We cannot stop reading context. It's something that we are doing constantly over and over again. So it's very important. So how can you achieve this, and how are we going to know that we are building this synergy?
Yeah, it's a slow process, right? And again, it starts with the knowledge of the product, with the alignment with all the players, the knowledge of the customer. Everything is like a step by step, right? At the end, you put everything together and you're ready to perform in front of the customer. And this is basically what you are building with your marketing plan. You are giving all this music for those performers to delight your audience. And this is what you are doing. And this is the process that you're building through simplicity, trust, and clarity. So this is exactly what you build among the two teams, marketing and sales. You have to build trust, right? And this is what we have been talking about, how you build trust with each other.
Yes, of course, because trust, that's the way that you're going to work together. And it's not even just trusting sales and trusting marketing, it's trusting each other. And then the customer will also trust you because they will understand that what you are sharing with them, it's something that has value, right? And it's a strategy that it's going to keep you consistent, but it's also going to be clear for the customer. It's not just going to be a bunch of images or things that they have to over process in order to understand. They already trust that what you are saying to them, it's actually, it's true, right? And that is one of the biggest, I would say, goals that we have to achieve when it comes to working together. Yeah, it's like a stronger customer relationship. It's a stronger way that we are going to go further, right? It's being able to understand the company even further, not only the services and the product, but the overall mission of the company. It's a cycle that never ends, we can say. Yeah. So what could you say that it will be the impact of all of this? If you could just share with us, how have you seen this unfold? What is the finish of it all?
Yeah, when you get this alignment, you're going to be successful. And it's really good that when you are in front of the customer and you see the reaction of the customer, when you communicate with the customer and they say, okay, this is what I need to hear, right? You got it. And this is the success. This is the end of the show, right? The customer is pleased and they will make a decision faster because you created this consistent message and you created these touch points whenever they needed with the information that they needed, and everything was consistent. You are simplifying the process of decisions that a customer has. And also, if you are including all these personas that in the buyer group and you are sending a different, the right message depending on the role, the decision process will be faster. And, sales marketing at the end, it is not a silo, it's the company and it's the success of the company. And this is what you are achieving when you go through those processes that we have been talking about. This alignment, the knowledge, the simplicity, the value, the differentiators, knowing the competitors. This is the real success that you need in your company.
Yes, of course, because it has a lot of benefits when you align. It's starting to build a base that it's strong enough for you to start building upon on that, right? And it will not collapse. You are having a good team, you're having a good synergy, you're already building a music that people are going to enjoy because you already know your audience. And as you said, it's a faster cycle. It's a cycle that never ends, right? It's like a spiral. So people are going to go through the funnel faster, and you're going to have more results, better results, more sales, and a better relationship overall, because also that's one of the biggest things that we're looking for: great relationships, great strong relationships, and lasting relationships. So yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Ale, for the amazing presentation. Thank you for your time, for sharing us your experience, for creating, because you've created a lot, and this informative session. So for us to, yeah, thank you very much.
No, thank you for, and the last message here is that you have your sales team and you have your marketing team, but also you need the best tools, right? And if you want to perform and you want to do something fantastic, extraordinary, you will need to have the best of the best. And I added this because the Pin Piano represents you, and this is something that you should consider in a business, is that you have the right marketing team, the right sales team, but also you need some tools that will improve and they will make this relationship with the customer, your audience, amazing. So that's something that I will say that Pin Piano could do that. So create this melody, this perfect melody.
Thank you very much, Ale. Thank you very much for joining us, for sharing. I hope you have a very wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So to recap, it is crucial for marketing to understand the product and the customer deeply. After all, that will be what they should have in mind when you are constructing a message. Sales must trust marketing and share their insights. They are the main source of information. By aligning, you can both deliver a consistent message to the customer, and this will lead to growth and stronger relationships. Thank you very much, all of you, for sharing with us your time, your energy. I would love to know your thoughts and your own experiences if you are in sales. And also, if you're in marketing, I would really enjoy knowing a little bit about your process. How are you managing your teams? And if you're aligning. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Hola.